Hello everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video series I'll be sharing classical music selections which I believe will make a great launching pad to set you off into the vast and wonderful world of classical music. If you're already a classical music enthusiast, I hope you find many hidden gems within these selections. Most of my classical music selection will be in the form of CD albums. Occasionally, I will also share music in the form of film. So it might be classical music used in a movie, or it could be a dance performance or the live recording of an opera. I did my selection into 5 categories. The first one is rather broad. It's music from the Baroque, classical and romantic eras. Second category are compilation albums. Third, legendary artists. Next, living artists, and these living artists are living legends in their own right. And the last category is a bit of a miscellaneous category, but most of it will be classical traditional music from countries other than the Western world. And sometimes the music will stand on its own, other times it will be interwoven or run parallel alongside classical music. And then we will also have the film selections in the same category. So I look forward to sharing all of this with you, and let's get started. Our first selection is going to be an album titled The Haydn Mass Edition. So this is a recording of 2 Haydn masses, the Heilig Messe and Nikolai Messe. So that is the Holy Mass and Nikolai Mass. So it's done by the Collegium Musicum 90. This is a period instrument ensemble that was founded in 1990 by the late conductor Richard Hickox and the violinist Simon Standage. And it features soprano Lorna Anderson, tenor Mark Padmore, and other great performers. So I really love this. So why do I love it? Well, the masses sound great. They have the combination of splendor. They are magnificent, they are serene at parts. It's just really beautiful music. So a little bit about Haydn. So Joseph Haydn was born in 1732 and he passed in 1809. He was born in Austria, and he was a very fortunate composer and a very influential one. He was fortunate because he had the patronage of the Esterhazy family of Austria, who provided him with all he needed to make all the beautiful music he wanted. And he was highly influential, so he's credited with developing the symphony to what we have today. Joseph Haydn was a mentor and friend to Mozart, the composer, and he was a teacher to Beethoven. Our second selection for today falls within our second category of being a compilation album, and it also falls within the first category as well, because it features music from the Baroque, classical, and romantic eras of classical music. So this is called the Opera Album or the Opera Album, and it features most of the 20th century major opera stars. So people like Maria Callas, Luciano Pavarotti, Joan Sutherland, they're all on here. It sounds great. And compilation albums like this are very useful when you're just starting out listening to opera, because it allows you to sample many different types of opera works from a wide era, and then later on you can further explore each one. So I highly recommend this. It was released by EMI Records and it's great. It's the Opera Album. On to our third selection. So this also is a compilation album, and it's called The Best Baroque Album in the World Ever. So it's a bit of an obnoxious title perhaps, but it's an actually really good album. Why is it really good? Well, it features music being performed by some of the top orchestras and ensembles like St. Martin's in the Field and the London Symphony Orchestra. There's the choir of King's College, Cambridge. It sounds great. And it features music from most of the popular Baroque composers, everyone from Johann Sebastian Bach to Vivaldi. There's Purcell, there's Gluck, Monteverdi's here, almost everyone is here. Corelli, great album to own. I will say it may be a bit difficult to find this particular recording in CD format, but if you can, I would say try to get it. Our fourth selection for today falls within the legendary artist category, and our legendary artist for today is Leonard Bernstein. He was born in the year 1918 and passed in 1990. He is known to be one of the greatest musical minds of the 20th century. He was a composer, a conductor, and a great lecturer and humanitarian. And one thing he was really passionate about was bringing modern composers to the public and bringing classical music as a whole to the public. And he would have these live TV shows where he would talk about classical music, and he was the first conductor to ever do this. So this album is called Leonard Bernstein, a tribute, and it has works that he composed and then some he conducted and really loved on a personal level. So it has the Chichester Psalms. And in the second movement, you have a boy alto, and he sings Psalm 23. And that is just one of the most gorgeous things I've ever heard. Honestly, I love the Chichester Psalms, and I hope you will love it too if you haven't heard it before. It also has symphonic dances from West Side Story, and there's George Gershwin, and then Gustav Mahler. And there's also a work from Charles Ives. So this album was released by Sony Records, and it's called Leonard Bernstein, a tribute, and I love it and hope you will too. Now we're on to living artists to know. And this living artist is a legend. This is Yo-Yo Ma. He's a cellist. And this album is the 6 unaccompanied cello suites by Johann Sebastian Bach. So here we have Yo-Yo Ma. Yo-Yo Ma was born in Paris, France, to Chinese parents, and then they moved later on to New York. Yo-Yo Ma is a trailblazing musician because he has been invested in bridging cultural gaps for a long time now. He established the Silk Road Ensemble, and this is an ensemble made up of musicians from different parts of the world that would have been around the Silk Road of the past. And he also set up the Silk Road Collective. This is an educational program that is meant to run in middle schools in certain cities in the United States. And it doesn't only focus on music, it also introduces various art forms to the children. So he's very passionate about educating people. Most people will be familiar with the cello suite number 1 in G major. There's a live performance at the BBC Proms of Yo-Yo Ma performing the entire cello suites almost uninterrupted, and it runs for over 2 hours. It's really a feat. He's a virtuoso and definitely a living artist to know. So I love this album, and it was released on Sony Classics. And now the final album selection for today is a very interesting one, and this falls in my 5th category of classical traditional music that's running parallel with Western classical music. And this album is called Lombarena, and it was a tribute album to pay homage to the Nobel Peace Prize winner Albert Schweitzer. And he was an Alsace polymath from Alsace, France, and he was passionate about Bach. We're back to Bach again. He was passionate about Bach and also about humanitarian activities. And in 1913, he founded the Hôpital Albert Schweitzer in Lambaréné, Gabon. On this album, you have traditional classical music from Gabon. It's played on Gabonese instruments, and you have Gabonese traditional singers doing the Gabonese chants. And then you also have Western classical musicians playing selected pieces by Bach. And the music plays sometimes in parallel, sometimes it's interwoven, and it might sound out there, but it works. It actually works. At least I thought it did, and I'd be really interested in finding out what you feel. So please, if you do listen to this album, let me know in the comments section what you think about the music. I love it. And there's this one song, it's the 7th track here, You can't sit still listening to this. You will be dancing. You know, Baroque music is often very good for dance, for dancing, I find. And this is no exception. Absolutely beautiful. And it was released on Sony Classics as well. Okay, so now, to summarize, we featured Joseph Haydn, 2 of his masses, and this is the Haydn Mass Edition, and it was recorded by Collegium Musicum 90, great album. We had the Opera Album, or the Opera Album, and this features music from the Baroque, classical and romantic eras of classical music, performed by the great opera stars of the 20th century. Next, we featured an album titled The Best Baroque Album in the World Ever, and I would like to hear from you if you do happen to get your hands on it, if you think it's the best Baroque album in the world ever. And our legendary artist for today was Leonard Bernstein, and this is a great tribute album that features his works such as the Chichester Psalms and symphonic dances from West Side Story. Our living artist to know was the cellist Yo-Yo Ma, and these were the 6 unaccompanied cello suites. The story behind these cello suites is like something that plays out of a movie, in the sense that the works were actually lost for many years. Next, we have a tribute album to Albert Schweitzer, who was a humanitarian, a theologist, a musicologist, a Bach enthusiast who built a hospital in Gabon. And this is called Lombarena, and you have traditional classical music from Gabon playing alongside music from Bach. Please subscribe to my channel. This way you don't miss a notification when I bring out a new video. I hope to have many more wonderful selections for you. Please let me know your comments in the comments section, and I look forward to seeing you on part 2 of my video series. Until then, enjoy the music and stay well.